Hello and welcome to Peter Greathouse Realty. Obviously this is a bit of a departure for this page, so chances are you might be here for the first time and need a quick introduction. I'm Peter Greathouse, a licensed realtor in St. Louis, Missouri, and yes, that's my real name. If you're looking for a great house, call me. Now that that's out of the way, onto the Broncos. Ever since the Off Roadeo was announced, I knew I wanted to make this trip my vacation for the year. This video highlights how I did that and includes both the time I filled before the event as well as the Off Roadeo itself. Let's begin with my home for the 4-day trip, Steel Hill Resort. The recommended lodging for the Off Roadeo, New Hampshire, Steel Hill Resort is home to stunning views and some nice amenities. The indoor pool was a nice place to unwind, and its water slide was more fun than it really had any reason to be. The hot tub was the real star, however, especially after my adventure day kayaking and hiking up Gunstock Mountain. Steel Hill was not without its faults, however. At no point in my stay did I receive fresh towels in spite of signage in the room indicating how to get them, and the bed was never made. Not deal-breaking stuff, but strange, especially given the price point. Also worth noting, the breakfast menu I received at check-in looked great, but each time I went down for breakfast, I found the restaurant was closed that day. This was a recurring theme on this trip. Perhaps most notably, I called the Off Roadeo customer service number to ask about their advertised add-on experiences, which were a big draw for me. I had looked forward to ziplining, hiking, and kayaking, and after a few minutes on hold while the representatives searched for answers for me, I was told the add-on experiences were simply no longer a thing. As the longtime captain of Team Roll With It, #TeamRollWithIt, I managed to adapt. While ziplining would have been fun, my real reason for choosing the Northeast location, back when it was going to be in Vermont and then shifting to New Hampshire, was the idea of having my own personal Ron Swanson moment of zen out on a lake. Thanks to the lovely people at Winnisquam Marine, I got exactly that. Not only was the price I paid for my rental lower than expected at $30 for the time I spent, but due to the fact that I was there in the off-season, I had the entire lake to myself. For me, this more than made up for the fact that so many other things were closed. For the record, I did receive a coupon from Steel Hill Resort for a nice amount off of the fun experiences at Gunstock Mountain, which included ziplining. But when I called Gunstock to make a reservation for Tuesday, I learned that they were, you guessed it, closed until the weekend. So if this is a big deal for you, plan to go over a weekend instead of during the week like me. Having accomplished my main extracurricular goal, I decided to do a bit of reconnaissance in preparation for the next day's event and make sure I knew not only how to get to the Off Roadeo, but that I'd know where to park, where the facilities were, etc. What I didn't expect was the warm welcome from the staff member who was setting things up, and the green light to take a look around. Like many of you who are watching this video, I've been looking forward to the release of the new Ford Bronco for years. And as a Day 2 reservation holder with a build date that's fast approaching, assuming it doesn't get bumped back for what would be a 5th time as of this recording, just seeing this many Broncos is worth taking the trip. Recently, I discovered that I had an opportunity to change my paint color, and I've been agonizing over whether or not I made the right choice, having never seen my favorite carbonized gray on a full-size Bronco. Thanks to this spur-of-the-moment Tuesday trip, I was finally able to rest easy on this one. The fine folks at the Off Roadeo were even nice enough to have one parked right next to my second choice color of Area 51. Even better, I was able to find a black diamond in carbonized gray to verify that I liked how the blue accents went with the exterior paint color. Once I was finally able to tear myself away from the Broncos, I headed over, with permission, to the Orx Course to get a sense of what we'd be doing the next morning. As you can see here, the real fun starts at this point. I'll skip past the part of my day in which I accidentally climbed a mountain while killing time before dinner and get to the good stuff. The Orx Course gets you familiar with a variety of the types of challenges you'll face on the trails during the day and is a good time to answer some questions. It's also the exact type of setting I hope to find myself in by choosing the Northeast Off Roadeo location, so this day was off to a strong start. A quick side note, if you really want to rock the trivia portion of the morning activities at the event, spend the past year and a half scrolling through Bronco 6G every single day and night. You will win a ton of stickers. My cooler is going to look awesome. After the Orx course, you'll take a quick break and then hustle outside to choose your Bronco. As someone buying a two-door black diamond with 32-inch tires, I'd fallen in love with this stock Badlands during my scouting mission the day before, as it was as close as I could get to what I'd be buying. And as fate would have it, it was mine for the day. That smile was a running theme during my off-roadeo experience, as the folks in the Black Diamond with the Sasquatch package ahead of me can attest, since they heard my random giggles throughout the day. Even just sitting inside the Bronco and taking in the scenery is a thrill, and you will have ample time to familiarize yourself with the various buttons and options. I enjoyed setting up my wireless Apple CarPlay and learning how well my phone fit in its spot, as well as putting to rest any thoughts about where my sunglasses might go since the aux switches steal their usual spot. Spoiler alert, there's a great spot for them in the center console. But of course, the real fun is driving. And as someone whose sole off-road experience prior to this was the time my Challenger got snowed in at the dealership parking lot and I took home a Ranger for the night, this was epic. At lunch, you'll enjoy this sweeping view, which is far easier to reach by ski lift than it is by foot, heads up. The food is good, and the way up and down sort of made up for my lack of ziplining adventure, as well as the discovery that even though the airspace was clear, drone flights aren't allowed without prior approval from Gunstock's marketing department. So heads up for my fellow drone pilots out there if you're heading this way. Getting to be the drone for a moment certainly was fun, and then it was back into the Broncos for the more challenging afternoon trails. It was during this afternoon portion where most of us found at least one major "should I have spent the $75 on insurance" moment, but we all got through unscathed. Seeing this Sasquatch go sideways down the washed out hill gave me minor heart palpitations, as well as a chance to learn about using rocks to rebuild a better path with more traction. And while we all had our learning moments, which is, the whole point of going, here's mine, we also had moments of absolute triumph. Thanks to my spotter Shannon's expert guidance, I got over what in person is an astounding pile of loose rocks as if it was a speed bump. And I did it without the Sasquatch package. While I doubt I'll point my Black Diamond at a similar obstacle, I'll admit it was some of the most fun I can remember having, and my second Bronco, the Grange-Tober Reservation, might be a rock crawler. For those of you wondering if your stock Badlands on 33s can tackle that challenge, the answer is yes. This is one of the few times I opted to use the stay bar disconnect, and for the record, we spent pretty much the entire day in 4-low. At the end of the day, my favorite moment of the entire trip was not caught on video, since I was fully immersed in the experience of driving this beautiful vehicle I have waited so long to be in. I set out to drive through trees along a calm stream with the light breaking through the leaves around me, and thanks to the fact that I opted to ride with Shannon's group, I got to experience that exact moment when we took a less traveled trail. It was a genuinely moving experience and one I'll never forget. Thanks to what I learned that day, it's also an experience I know I'll be able to recreate for myself soon, as I now have the confidence to drive my own beloved Bronco through similar settings. No matter who you choose to ride with, you'll be in good hands. We encountered a couple of the other guides while we were out on the trails, and each and every one of them is an absolute pro. When you return to base camp, you'll be treated to a fantastic dinner and the chance to unwind around a campfire where I made the absolute best s'more of my life. And you can take home an impressive haul in merchandise. This impressive haul cost $259 and change, of which I only spent $9 thanks to my early reservation holder "Please Stay Pumped and Hang In There" voucher. Some early reports mentioned there were issues with this system, but they all seem to have been ironed out by the time I got there. Pair this with the staggering beauty of New Hampshire's lakes and trails, and you have the setting of a vacation you've spent the past year dreaming about. Even with its faults, I'm glad to have spent the time I did at Steel Hill Resorts. By making my reservation through the link sent after signing up for the Off Roadeo, I received a $25 gift card which I spent on dinner at the Hilltop restaurant, which I only wish were open more regularly. Hilariously, when I asked the front desk where I should get breakfast instead on Tuesday morning, I was sent here. I laughed pretty hard when I got to this sign. All the food I was able to get on this trip was fantastic, and I was especially grateful for the recommendation from a friend on the Bronco 6G forum, which sent me to Laconia Local Eatery. In keeping with the idea of taking good recommendations, If the chef tells you to try the special, try the special. The seafood stuffed steak was one of the best meals of my life, and I found a new favorite beer in Exhibit A Brewing Company's Focal Point. If you are contemplating a vacation involving the New Hampshire Off Roadeo, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you're thinking about a trip to Missouri anytime soon, keep an eye on this page for more videos like this highlighting what St. Louis has to offer. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Peter Greathouse Realty, or on my website, www.petergreathouserealty.com. Special thanks to Winnisquam Marine, Bronco 6G, the Gunstock Mountain staff, and everyone else you see here, especially Shannon. More Bronco adventures are coming soon as mine gets built. Thanks again for watching, and as always, if you're looking for a great house, call me.